Welcome to Latina Mic Drop, the podcast where you can show up and show out, where bold moves are not only encouraged but the standard. This is where excellence meets simplicity and common sense. I'm Miriam Simon, your host, a leadership coach, author, speaker, a mom of 3 young adults, a grandma in my 40s, and a spouse to the most beautiful, kind soul. On a mission to empower 1 million people to continue to tap into their exponential power. If you're out there building your own family and your own future from scratch, you're in the right place. Join me as we explore the stories, strategies, and secrets that can turn your hustle into legacy and peace of mind. Ready to transform your life? Let's get started. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Latina Mic Drop. In this episode, we're going to talk about co-authoring. So it's interesting because co-authoring came into my life after a difficult time. And what exactly is co-authoring, right? What does that mean to be a co-author? And so what that means is that you include your story with other people's stories to create a book. The opportunity presented itself for me to become a co-author when I was going through a tough time, and I was looking and searching for what else I can do, how else I can reach wider, not higher, and thinking about what would be beneficial for me to be able to include my stories, write about specific scenarios, and figure out a way that I can share my expertise and share my accomplishments with other people. And so through looking for a coach and me loving leadership as much as I do, I was thinking, how could I do this? What should I do? And then I started looking up John Maxwell, and I realized he had a coaching program. And then that coaching program led me to the Latinas 100 community. So the Latinas 100 community had an option to submit your essay for an opportunity to be included in their anthology, leaving a legacy and inspiring the next generation. And so I was thinking, you know what? What the hell? Why not? Let me try to figure out if this is the way that maybe I can be published, right? I mean, I had learned from somebody else, a manager that I previously had, that whenever they wanted to amplify their voice, what they did was they included an article in different publications. So I thought, how cool would that be if I was able to also include my accomplishments in a publication or a book? And let me tell you, I did go to a publication, but that one cost like $5,000. And I just kept thinking about the impact. And I was thinking, is that really going to be beneficial for me at this time? So I didn't opt for that. They were ready and willing to do it. And they also asked me if I had any sponsors, and I don't have any sponsors. But if you want to become my sponsor, no worries. We can figure that out. But I didn't have it at the time. And I just didn't think the $5,000 investment was going to be worth it at the moment. And I really don't know how many people or what their viewership is like, right? So that was not a risk I was willing to take. I was not willing to go ahead and spend that money. And I don't know what the return on investment would look like for me. So I just kept on going. But at least now I know it's a possibility, and I know how much it costs, and I know what I need to do if I do want to go back to that publication. So then I kept thinking, well, what else could I do? How else can I do it? I saw the form for the Latinas 100, leaving our legacy and inspiring the next generation. I said, I can write something about my recent accomplishments. And I said, why not? Let me give it a try. So what I did is I ended up submitting my essay, and then I ended up being chosen as part of the Latinas 100 community. And even though some people may think that it is not a big deal, it is a big deal. And at the beginning, I was so happy and excited, and I was just overjoyed with the fact that I was chosen and selected to be part of this community. And then I started to receive like the digital assets, right? So the digital assets are the pictures or photos that you can use for social media. And it came with like the Amazon emblem, the logo, and it was an emblem. And you were able to say you're a top selling author and you're a co author. And listen, I think it's a great entryway into writing your own book. And so that was my start. I began there. And then through that community, I was able to connect with other Latinas and other community members who were also authors. And so that happened at this point 2 years ago. And now, right, I've been able to partner with other women. I've been able to support the other books that come out. I've been able to bring pictures and advertisement about their books, and it's an inspiration to be able to see them with their own books after participating in the anthology series. And then you realize, oh my goodness, there's other anthology series that are out there. And you go and you start looking. Then I found the Hispanic Star, and the Hispanic Star is another great publication. And you know what? I didn't even realize that their subtitle was The New Face of Power. I mean, how powerful is that to have the new face of power, which is us? I mean, can you believe that I am the new face of power in one of these books? Unreal. So I'm in volume 5 for Hispanic Star, the new face of power. So I did the same thing. I saw it come up and I said to myself, oh, you know what? Let me give this a try and let me see if my story gets submitted. And so I thought about a good story. What should I submit there? Right. And that's the other thing, is like thinking, well, am I good enough? Is the story that I have to share that important that it should be published and shared with other people? And I say, if that is something that has popped up for you and it has given its space and it has shown up for you, I say go for it. I say go for it. What do you have to lose? Somebody may say no, or you may not get in this time, but you may be able to get in next time, or you may be able to at least get more information after this. And there's so many out there now that I see that I didn't even know about back in the day. But now I realize that there's other anthology series, like the United Latinas has one. There's also groups that are people that are in HR or by different profession I've seen. So there's definitely opportunities. And then you know what, the other thing I've seen? I've also seen people who are authors who get into a collection of knowledge. So there's the Latino playbook, leadership playbook, and that one is pretty cool too. It's huge because there's so many people that collaborated their expertise in it, so it makes a lot of sense, and it has so many different tips, strategies, and tools. And then these stories are inspirational and also give you tips, strategies, and skills, resources. And so then back in the day, like I never had Latinos writers or new Latino authors or anything like that. And sometimes, you know what it is, we need to create our own space. And these are people who are creating their own space, who are creating the avenue to be able to publish these stories and be able to share them. Like I never thought I'd have my own website, or I have my own YouTube channel, or I would have my own podcast, or I would have my own book for that matter. But then, you know, the opportunity presented itself to be able to do all these extra things. And it was all through a basic no that came at a time where I thought I was chasing something that I really wanted, but I recognized that, guess what, Miriam? You were probably going in the wrong direction. And guess what? It may end up going in that direction eventually, but it did bring me to finding my voice and being able to share my expertise and being able to share my story. And these anthology series are a great start to authorship They are a great entryway into figuring out into how you become an author. You start to become connected to all the other authors in the industry, and you start to see what it is that they offer as well. And then you begin to learn from their expertise. And so, through this Latinas 100 community, I mean, they just gave me the best kickoff for my book launch. We had a private recording that was full of Latina 100 sisters and full of the Latina 100 spirit. And they are just so amazing. And I can tell you that if you're really looking for a community, if you're like me who didn't have, like a lot of financial support or didn't have family that you could rely on, right? Not because they don't want to, but because they can't. And then, like sometimes things just happen, or we don't see eye to eye, or our values are different, or our life experiences lead us into different pathways. That happens. And so, what this did for me was not just only add authority to my voice, give me an additional credibility, provide a space where I can share my stories and my achievements, but it also gave me community. It also helped me to go from invisible to visible. It helped me go from lonely to community. It helped me recognize who I was, what my worth was, how much I have been able to accomplish, and also be able to celebrate my accomplishments. And the goal of mine was to reach wider, not higher. And it has provided that for me. It has 100% given me the opportunity to help, to reach, to share my story with other individuals who maybe haven't seen a Latina author, haven't seen a person of my background with the degree or with this type of job or accomplishing these types of things or anything like that, right? I mean, it's just so amazing. It is really incredible to think about the journey and how being a co-author really helped and really was able to provide a new way of people looking at me. But I can tell you that it takes time to really own being an author. I was just talking to somebody and they were like, well, I'm a co-author, but it doesn't count. Huh? What do you mean it doesn't count? It does count. You are an author. It is published. What are you saying it's not? It does matter. And it doesn't matter how small, right? That's part of the problem is like people think this is small. This is not small. This is a big deal. We're at the beginning of being able to share our stories and being able to have these publications and being able to share and just have our kids and the kids after, their kids and their kids be able to see our stories. Like, that is just the most amazing thing that I don't even know the impact of the stories that I share. And I may not even see them personally, but I know that they are working and I know that they are there. And I know that it will reach somebody and it will be shared and it will help somebody someday, even if it just helps one person, like people say, that's what we're looking for. And I just want to say that co-authoring is definitely an avenue that you can take if you are searching to become an author, or you ever thought maybe you could be an author and you thought maybe I could do this kind of thing. And then you don't even realize how many people are part of the authorship community. And the other part of this is too that you end up being able to write your own book. It gives you the courage to be able to share even more and it gives your voice a place where we can share. And I am telling you, if you're looking for it, you should really go online and take a look at the anthology series and check to see when they have these publications and when you're able to submit your stories, because there are plenty of them. There's some that are just for women, some for both male and female, some by profession, some depending on if you're a leader or not. There's just so many different ways for you to be able to participate in these anthologies. And I want to tell you that if you're part of one, congratulations. We're part of this community together. I'm really happy and excited, and I cannot wait to continue to share. Now I will be part of 4 anthologies, so volume 3 and 4 of the Latinas 100, leaving our legacy and inspiring the next generation, the new face of power with Hispanic Star, and then one that I will leave as a surprise because it's not out yet and it's not even announced. So I will wait to say that, but it definitely did give me credibility. It amplified my voice. It helped people see that, you know what, Miriam does have something to say. Miriam has value. And you know what? You don't need that validation from other people, but it did help in being able to establish myself and be able to share my story and reach wider, not higher, and be able to recognize that there are ways that we can share our stories and there are ways that we can move forward. And the anthology series are a very, very good way to be able to do that. And then if you're ever thinking of writing your own book, then you can most likely tap into the same publisher that has the anthology series, or you can go ahead and start connecting with the other people that make these offerings as well, because there's just so much that comes out of this. And I think I haven't even really hit the ceiling on this. I'm really at the beginning. I feel like I'm really at the beginning stages, especially because of the book by myself that's going to come out in April 11th. But I really do think that it provided the space that I needed. It gave me the ability to share my story, and it was definitely a stepping stone to the next step. And so I really do recommend that if you are interested in participating as a co-author, that you go ahead and you give it a try. It is one of the most amazing, uplifting experiences I've had. And it's also provided a community and wealth of wisdom from so many other people. I just went to a book signing in Queens, New York, and I was just so happy to see her in her element and talk about her book, and didn't even realize she had business administration like I did. She was in working in different areas than me, but we have the same degree, so that's pretty cool. And then now I've been able to follow her journey and get her book, Rosalie Eanes, and it's just amazing. I can't tell you enough about how co-authoring has been a wonderful part of being, I just love being an author, and I can't wait to share Tattoos and Pearls with you all. And I know that this is going to help a lot of people. And if you haven't checked out the Latinas 100, Leaving Our Legacy and Inspiring the Next Generation, go ahead and take a look at that. Get your copy. The new one came out this year, and I have a story in there about my family coming to the United States and my personal journey at 6 months coming in from Mexico to the United States. And I can tell you that throughout all these stories, they will resonate and they'll be relatable. Let me know which story is your favorite, and feel free to reach out to the authors. They're always looking forward to being able to talk to you and being able to share. And they all have great things coming. So thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you on the flip side. Take care. Tuning in to Latina Mic Drop. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. We're building something extraordinary together. If today's episode inspired you, subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. For one-on-one coaching and more resources, follow me on your favorite social media platforms at author Miriam Simon, or visit my website at Miriam Simon Online. Until next time, keep turning your tattoos into pearls of wisdom and your dreams into reality. Stay strong, stay focused, and let's make history.